Hello, hello. I am live from Italy. I'm going to wait for a few of you guys to jump on. I hope my Wi-Fi is good here. It says that I've got full bars, so awesome. So I am in Bologna in Italy, and it's the home of spaghetti bolognese. And I went out last night and had like the best pasta I've ever had before, which was amazing. So hello everyone. Let me know where you're from, who you are. As you guys know, I still can't see the the names or who's commenting. Good morning from India. Amazing. So today's live, we're going to speak about money, which is a massive topic, as you guys are probably aware. So we'll see where we can get. But I asked you guys some questions, which I was just reading through. So I'd love to get to some of those as well. So yay, Kirsten from Noosa. Hi, darling. How are you? Thank you guys for being patient. Yesterday, my body was very intense, so it was better to reschedule the live. If you hear lots of noises, let me know as well, and I can close the window. Awesome. Okay, I'm just going to pull the questions up that you guys asked about this topic. Beautiful. And if you guys have any questions, as you know, as I'm going through this live, please feel free to pop it in the comments as well. Amazing. So money. Oh my God. So money and business kind of go hand in hand. And in order to actually really have the business that you actually desire, you have to be willing to receive the money that you actually desire. So I called this live Money. Do you love it, hate it, or ignore it? And then I kind of got to ask you guys some questions and see where you guys were at and where we could get to as well. So the thing is with money, it's like, how often does it get the bad rap? It's called the bad guy. It's blamed for everything for not working in our lives. And really, I want to start getting you guys to look at, how's that actually working for you? And does that actually push money away or pull it closer? One of you asked a question, and the question was, how can I be more receptive to receiving money in business? And what is receiving with money continuously? And I wanted to speak to that a little bit more, because how many of you have been trying to make your money flows consistent? And has that been ease or has that been hard? The thing is, when you're trying to make money flows consistent, then you stop the flow of chaos and you stop the magic and the possibilities and the miracles that are actually available with money in business. So one of the questions I really like to ask is, what would it be like to allow the flow of money into my business to be erotic, chaotic, crazy, and fabulous? So someone mentioned as well, I'm doing the meaning process with money. Can you explain the difference between what do I mean to money and what does money mean to me? Cool. Yeah, we can get to that as well. Awesome. So when it comes to money and business, the thing is, and I've heard, I think it was Shannon O'Hara say this, is that what she's noticed is there's seasons with money, meaning as we have in, this reality, we have like summer, autumn, winter, and spring. There are actually seasons with money in your business as well. And the thing is, like, when we're trying to make it consistent, oftentimes we go into our head to try and figure out how to do money, how to get money, rather than actually how to be money. So this information like really changed things for me, because I was looking at trying to make my money flows consistent every single month. And if I wasn't making more money every single month than I was the previous month, then there was something wrong with me, and I judge myself and go, my business is obviously not working. So the thing is, you don't actually want a consistent flow of money. What if you were willing to have it be chaotically fabulous? This may seem really crazy to you guys, and please feel free to like ask any questions you have of that. But chaos is actually the greatness of you. Consistency is actually the least of you, because when you're trying to be consistent, you're trying to maintain what you currently have rather than create something greater. The other part of that is, let me go back to the question as well. How can I be more receptive to receiving money in my business, and what is receiving with money continuously? True receiving is total vulnerability. if you really want to receive more money in your business, you actually have to be vulnerable. When you are truly vulnerable, you get to receive everything. When you are truly vulnerable, you actually have a sense of peace and space and no walls and no barriers, and you don't actually have to defend or avoid anything. And the thing is, with this whole idea about like allowing more money into your life and receiving more, if you have to defend or avoid anything in regards to money, how much money are you actually limiting from showing up in your life? So I want to ask you guys the question, what are you all defending in regards to money? And what are you all avoiding in regards to money? And what are you all avoiding against or defending for that keeps the flow of money that keeps you from receiving infinite amount of money into your life and into your business? And everything that is and everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine shorts, boys, povits, and beyonds. For those of you that this is your first time here with me, that is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. You can go to theclearingstatement.com for more information. But really look at that. Begin to ask yourself, like, what am I actually avoiding with the money I'm not choosing? And what am I defending with the money I'm not choosing? And the thing is, with this whole space of receiving money and vulnerability, it's actually never seeing money as the answer or the problem, but only a choice. How many of you see money as the solution, as the answer, or the problem, rather than a choice that you actually have access to? Can you talk about limiting receiving by making money significant? Yeah. So the thing is with that, it's like if you make money significant and if you make the money flowing into your business significant, how much are you actually limiting what you can receive? If you make money significant, are you making money the source? Because if you make money the source, you are then no longer making you the source of having and creating and generating the money that you actually desire. Anytime we make money significant, anytime we go to this space of need with money, then we are actually handing money the power rather than actually acknowledging the source that we actually be. So if you no longer made money significant, what other choices would actually be available to you? And the thing is, the willingness to receive money means never putting a barrier up to anything. I think some people can misidentify and misapply like receiving as if I'm receiving more, I must be receiving more money. But receiving is receiving everything with ease. When you are willing to receive, when you're willing to be totally vulnerable, you don't have to put up a wall or barrier up to anything. So you get to receive all information, you get to be aware of all energy and everything. When you don't put walls and barriers up to anything, you get to know where to go, what to do, where not to go. You get to have all the information. And it's like, how much awareness do we actually cut off in business, with money, with the generation of wealth? Because we're putting all these walls and barriers up by making money right or wrong, or the problem or the solution. So everything that is times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine shorts, boys, povits, and beyonds. Does that make sense to you guys? Let me know. Pop it in the chat. So the other part of this, like receiving more money, is you have to be willing to have gratitude for the money that you actually have. If you have no gratitude for something, then you're not truly receiving it. Are you grateful for the money that actually comes into your life, that actually comes into your bank account? Or do you actually always judge you for not having enough, for it not being enough? You have to actually be willing to have gratitude for the money that you have and willing to see it as the gift if you want things to grow. Anytime you make money wrong, the problem, the solution, the significance of it, you are limiting what you can actually receive. If you're not grateful for what you've got, you can't actually create beyond the limitation of what you're willing to receive. So look at that for a second. It's like, we have this idea of course, be grateful for everything that shows up in our life, but are you actually truly grateful? Would you be willing to be grateful for the 5 cents, the $1, the $2 that you actually find on the ground? And this is kind of the key to receiving, because the thing is, how many of you are asking for more money, asking for more receiving with money, yet are not grateful for the money that actually shows up if it's not over a certain amount of dollars? Say, for example, 5,000, 500,000, like whatever that is for you. Acknowledgement is the key to receiving. So the thing is, you have to begin to acknowledge everything that is actually showing up for you. Everything. If you will not acknowledge, you cannot access the receiving energies. And this is what's changed my world, my financial reality dynamically, because I'm willing to acknowledge every little thing that shows up. I'm willing to be grateful for all of it, knowing that it is a gift. I haven't seen the privates added before. Answer this after the live if you like. I'm not even sure. If you can expand on that more, that would be awesome, because I'm not even sure what that is. The thing is as well, like with the whole receiving, like gratitude, the more gratitude you have, the more you can actually engage with the quantum entanglements to deliver to you like everything you actually desire, everything you've asked for that you haven't been willing to receive. The quantum entanglements are these energies, I guess you'd call it, in the universe that actually allow instant actualization to actually occur. So the more gratitude you're actually willing to have, the more receiving you can gain access to, which is actually the key to producing miracles and more money that you actually know is possible. So one of the other questions was, what space can I be to be the invitation for money with total ease? And I would say that that's kind of what we've just spoken about. You have to be willing to actually have gratitude for money. You have to be willing to actually be vulnerable with money. Know that it is never the problem and it's never a solution, but it's only a choice in order to access the peace and the space that's actually available to you. And this is where, when you begin to acknowledge the source that you actually be, everything can actually change, because you start actually accessing true vulnerability and true receiving. Someone says, I'm looking so at home in Italy. It's been amazing. My body's still a little bit intense, but yeah, it's been awesome. So yeah, vulnerability, true gratitude is the key to accessing that peace and space with money as well. So the next question was, what stage do I stop giving money away? And this is kind of a big kind of question in business. And I know a lot of people that are more comfortable spending money than actually receiving it. The thing is, if you don't like money, would you do everything you can to actually give it away? And this is where you guys are going to have to be truly vulnerable with you as well. Like, I want you guys to start asking yourself, do I love money? Do I hate money? Do I ignore money? If you hate money, how much energy do you have to use to give everything you've ever received away and stop yourself from receiving the infinite abundance that's actually available to you with ease? If you are more comfortable giving it away, the question that I began to ask myself is like, how much control am I using to have less money than I can actually enjoy? How much are you trying to control your life by having less than you can actually enjoy? And this is what I kind of see shows up a lot. It's like, money is just an energy. Money is never the problem. When you start to look at all the places you're trying to control your life, have a smaller life, not willing to create something that you know is actually possible and available, then you must give away the money that you have. You must spend the money you have to control your life to be as small as you've decided it has to be. So everything that is times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, ornate, shorts, boys, povers, and beyonds. So how much energy are you guys using to control your life by having less money than you can enjoy are you choosing? And everything that is times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, ornate, shorts, boys, povers, and beyonds. And this has actually shown up for me quite a lot since being in Italy, because I'm like, wow, it's like, how much more willing do I have to be to actually create my life as big as it can be? And I started looking at all the places where I wasn't truly willing to have a life that was even greater than I decided was actually possible. Hence my choice to come to Italy, hence my choice to do the things that I've been choosing. But again, look at this, like, ask yourself, am I trying to control my life by having less money than I can enjoy? And what would it be like and what would it look like if I was willing to have more money than I ever imagined possible, enjoy the hell out of my life? And I know that sounds crazy, but again, like, if you're willing to have a greater life, money will show up. But are you aware of the life that you actually desire to live? And I speak about this a lot in my classes and courses and all that kind of stuff. But unless you're actually clear on what you desire to have as your life, you cannot receive the money that you've actually been asking for. Because when you're not clear on what you desire your life to look like, ask and receive becomes almost impossible. It becomes increasingly challenging because the universe is like, well, if you're not even sure what you'd like your life to look like, how can I actually contribute to that? Someone says that was a potent one. If it feels like, could you repeat? Oh, I don't even know what I said. Sarah, did you get that? So the other part of that, of like giving money away and not willing to actually have money, is the question that I started asking myself is, am I willing to allow money to be there for me? Money is everywhere. But are you willing for money to be there for you? And the thing is, if you get a no, are you willing to be there for you? Are you willing to receive the infinite contribution and nurturance and care that others desire to be for you? And when I say others, like, we include money in this. Because people tend to think, oh, if I'm not willing to receive someone else having my back, if I'm not willing to receive the contribution someone else desires to be for me, then a lot of times we don't actually tie it to money. But the thing is, if everything's energy, then if you're not willing to have anyone be there for you, starting with you, then are you going to allow money to be there for you? Are you going to allow your business to be there for you? Are you going to allow your business and money to actually have your back? So what if you guys began to ask yourself, and if you get a no to this, like, what would it take to be willing to allow money to be there for me? What would it take to be willing to allow money to have my back, to allow money to nurture me, to allow money to care for me and my body? And then use the clearing statement, everything that doesn't allow that, with ease, joy, and glory, I destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, ornate, shorts, boys, povers, and beyonds. So begin to ask yourself that and look at that. Like, truth, am I willing to allow money to be there for me? And the thing is, like, what I notice is people with money are willing to have an energy of possibility as their reality. Are you willing to know that everything is actually possible and available to you? The more you're willing to acknowledge the possibilities that are actually available to you, the more money can show up as a reality for you in the most non-linear ways. So thanks, Joya. Yeah, how much control am I using to have less money? I think I said how much control am I using to have, I don't even remember what I said. We'll go back and listen and I'll get it for you. Yeah. So cool. The next question was, how do I trust that money is going to come? So this is like, all of these questions are like massive questions, and I will probably finish the live up soon, but is it actually about trusting the money's going to come, or is it trusting that you are the source? You can't create a flow of money from doubt. In order to not trust you, you must totally invalidate you and your reality. The thing is, like, if you're not willing to trust you, you have to assume that every thought, that every feeling, that every point of view, that every judgment, that every emotion has to be yours. Meaning, if you do not trust you, how many other people's realities with money do you then have to buy as yours, because you assume that every thought and every point of view and every judgment must be yours? So everything that is times a gazillion, will you just join on Creator, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, or name, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. And everywhere you are validating everybody else's reality with money, with the financial reality that you're choosing, will you just join on Create that times a gazillion? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, or name, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. The thing is, like, most of the limitation that we create in our life in regards to money is to validate other people's realities with money, as though that's the only way to have and validate yours. So whose reality with money are you validating, as though that's the only way to have and validate yours? And everything that is times a gazillion, we just join on Creator, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, or name, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. So what if you began to ask yourself, what would it take to be willing to trust me? What would it take to be willing to be the source that I actually be? And the thing is, again, it's like, how much of that are you actually using to never receive everything that you could be choosing? Because I find we have all these things that actually show up of like, you know, how do I trust the money's going to be there? How do I know that the universe has my back? But if you are willing to trust you in totality, because you know, if you are willing to allow the universe to have your back, if you are willing to be nurtured and cared for, what would you have to be willing to lose? And what would you have to be willing to gain access to? How many points of view and limitations and judgment would you have to be willing to lose? And then what would I have to be willing to gain access to? So what if we ignore money? What question can we be there? So the thing is, it's like, if you ignore money, ask, for what reason am I choosing this? What's the value in this? What I've noticed, like, it was a little while ago, the more present I was willing to be with money, the more money that actually flowed into my life. And it wasn't logical, it wasn't linear, it didn't make sense. But the more you're present with money, the more you get to have and the more you get to receive. So if you are ignoring money, again, it's like, ask yourself, okay, am I choosing this to never receive the abundance that I know is actually possible and available? And what I've noticed, and with the post I did when I was doing these lives, and I said that I've just started doing financial presence sessions as well, which have been amazing. When you're willing to be present with money, so this is what I noticed. I have these spreadsheets that I've created, and I know exactly what's coming in and what's going out, not only with my business, but with my personal expenses. When I was willing to actually be totally present with that and know exactly what's coming in and exactly what's going out every few days, then it gave me the awareness of, okay, cool, this is where I'm at. Now what else is possible? What else can I receive? What else can I choose? And hey, universe, what would it take to earn, or have $5,000 show up in my bank account with total ease? What I notice, if you're not willing to be present with money, you cannot have and receive the money that you actually desire. Presence is actually a key to receiving the money that you actually desire. And so my invitation to you guys is, and this is why Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness and these tools, says, like, you want to know what's coming in and what's going out. And so it's just created this space for me where every few days I'm so present with my bank account that it allows me to begin to actually ask questions as well. and go, okay, what else is possible? How does it get any better than this? And I use it as a source of gratitude. I actually, when I go through it and acknowledge like what's come in, whether that's $5, whether that's $500, it allows me this space of gratitude where I'm like, cool, and what else is truly possible? But again, if you were willing to be present, if you were willing to be grateful for what was coming in, how much more would you have to be willing to receive? So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any more questions about that. But yeah, I noticed like if you're not willing to be present with money, how much are you ignoring and rejecting the money that's actually available to you? This was so helpful. Time to acknowledge what's coming in and going out. It feels more fun the way you share it. Awesome. That's so cool. And it was really interesting on the Winging It business program that I'm doing. We actually spoke about this. We actually spoke about financial presence in the last session we did. And it was really cool because I was asking people like, okay, how many of you are actually aware of what's coming in and what's going out? And there was this beautiful lady that said like, yes. And a few people said yes. And I was like, cool. But as I kind of spoke about this more and doing it from a space of actual gratitude and what else is possible, she actually recognized that she was actually doing it from a source of judgment. That she was actually keeping track of what's coming in and what's going out as a source of judging herself. So I just wonder for those of you that are listening that maybe are aware of what's coming in and what's going out, it's like, ask yourself, am I using this as a source of judgment, or am I using this as a source of presence, of possibility and gratitude? Because what would change if you were willing to function from that space? And for me, that's changed everything. Awesome. And the last question here is, for me, what gets me the most is always kind of waiting for it to end. It's like I'm going to spend it and eventually I won't have anything to spend anymore because it's not enough. So what is it like to function out of scarcity, and what is actually the universe having your back? I'm almost getting why I would do it here. Cool. I kind of have spoken to that like the rest of the life. But again, if you're willing to trust that the universe has your back, then what? What would you have to be willing to lose, and what would you have to be willing to gain access to? And my question to you guys is like, how much have you given up on money, or how much have you made money wrong so you can leave and never have you? How much do you make money wrong or money the problem so you can leave and never have you? And I know that may seem really strange, but again, with everything being connected, if you were willing to have the money and receive the money you say you desire, how much more would you have to be willing to actually have you? Because you receiving more money, you're receiving more adoration, like whatever that is, it's not just receiving that. You must begin to receive more of you first before you actually begin to receive more of that. And so what if you guys began to ask yourself, like, what am I using? Like, what problems am I creating so I can leave and never have me am I choosing? And if you're making money the source, it's like, where are you choosing that so you can leave you, so you never have to access the potency and the power that is you? Because we make money so complicated. And I see people talking about it in so many different ways from the space of, it being hard and it being complicated. But truly, it's like, if you're willing to function from a space of like winging it, which I guess it's the whole point of this, and you're willing to go beyond structure and form and significance with all of this, the more you're willing to have you, the more you're willing to never leave you, the more you're willing to have your back, the more the universe can have your back, the more money will be there for you. And then it will show up in the most unlogical ways, non-linear ways. And this is where, like, again, it's not like, okay, what do I need to do to have the money I desire? It's literally like, what do I require to be here? What nurturance can I choose? What would I have to be willing to gain access to or lose to have everything I've ever desired, or have the money that I say that I desire? So it's all connected. But for me, it's like the more I've really been practicing using the tools to have more of me, the relationship and different tools, the right voice for you tools are very much about that. The more money has just flown in with ease. And most of the time I don't even know where it's come from. So if you're kind of looking at what do I need to do to have more money? What if you started looking at okay, what else do I require to be here that I'm unwilling to be, that if I was willing to be it, would allow me to access infinite amounts of money with ease? And the more you're willing to get out of control, out of linearity, out of significance, out of limitation with money, the more it can flow to you with total ease, joy, and glory. And I know that might not really make sense. And it's oh, that's so annoying. How do I do that? But one, you acknowledging that that's a possibility is the beginning of it. You asking what would it take to allow money to be there for me? What would it take to allow the universe to be there for me? And how much am I rejecting and refusing to receive the nurturance and care that money and the universe can and does desire to be for me? And that includes your business as well. So, sorry, I'm just catching up on the comments. I bought the Right Riches for You book after the amazing week I've had. I'm stepping up a notch. Thank you. Amazing. You can actually see it in your appearance. You look so you, if that makes sense. That's so cool. How does it get better? Yeah, it was really interesting. The first 2 days, I think I've been here 3 or 4 days now, but the first 2 days, I woke up and looked in the mirror and I was I don't even look like me. And the last few days have been really, really, really intense for me. There's been so much shifting and changing. I felt really nauseous and there's been so much going on with my body. And yeah, I don't actually recognize myself in the mirror. So how does it get better? Awesome. Does anyone else have any questions before we finish? I've been going for over 30 minutes. Amazing. Home play. I mean, there's lots of questions that I ask you guys and kind of mentioned that you can actually start playing with. But home play, I guess, related to the title of what I called this live, was what if you wrote down 20 things that you hate about money? And I know this may seem really strange, but get a piece of paper, go nuts. 20 things you hate about money or 20 things you hate about your business. And you can do both if you'd really like to do both. 20 things I hate about money, 20 things I hate about business. And write that down to look at it and go, okay, is this actually true? Is this actually mine? Whose reality am I validating? And is this a lie that I've actually bought? So, because the thing is, the 10 things that you hate about money or the 10 things you hate about business is literally running the show. It's literally creating the reality that you are choosing with money and or with business right now. So if you are willing to actually write down 20 things you've decided you hate about money, and without judging you, without making you wrong, but just whatever comes to you, just start writing it down. Then ask, okay, whose reality am I validating with this? Is this actually mine? Is this actually true? Is this an invention? And is this a lie? And I can write this down for you guys and add it in the group. Start playing with that, because what will happen is you guys will start to recognize how much you're functioning from that is not actually yours in regards to money. And I think the thing that changed so much for me in regards to money and having my financial reality was my willingness to acknowledge what was mine and what wasn't mine. And I see so many people get caught up, being so aware in everyone else's points of view and everyone else's judgments and everyone else's limitations. But do you know what's actually true for you? So write that list, ask the questions, and then start asking the universe, hey, universe, what's my reality with money and where do I actually find it? What's my reality with money and where do I find it? And start acknowledging anytime something that matches the lightness, the ease, and the joy shows up. Because again, like I mentioned at the start of this live, you acknowledging what's actually true for you begins the receiving energies. Until you acknowledge what's true for you, you have to continuously buy everyone else's reality with money as yours. So I hope that has been a contribution to you guys. How does it get any better than this? Thank you for being here with me. And yeah, I'm grateful for you all. I'll pop that in the chat, that home play. For some of you, that home play may not be relevant to, for others, it will. But if you're making yourself wrong or judging yourself in any way with money, I would recommend doing that. And you can also do another list and just ask, like, what do I love about money? And begin to actually acknowledge, like, what your reality with it looks like. Because if we're trying to, like, duplicate anyone else's reality with money, even if any of you guys are kind of looking to me and you're like, oh, I'd like to duplicate her reality with money, how much are you invalidating your reality with money that's different? So I am so grateful for all of you for being here. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye from Italy.